Yeah, rip the bandit off.
We're on it. It's all one pod. You know what I mean?
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Back like we never left.
God damn. When's the last time that we were on? Mickey 17. Michael 17. Oh, welcome to a One Take Podcast episode. Good Lord Almighty. 195. Good
we
episode.
are fucking back.
Yeah. We're back, man. We're all gallivanting around these here United States and otherwise abroad. I personally, I never left the comforts of my home, guys. I don't know why y'all couldn't pod.
I've been doing nothing but watching movies this whole time.
I've been watching movies. I mean, and sports. Lots of basketball, lots of sports. But I've still been at the movie theaters. I've been tapped in.
I've genuinely seen. We'll get to what we're watching like we always do at the end of this podcast. I've seen like 15 new movies in the time. Like I did before like Mickey 17 and all that. And like in the window that we were out, we should just pull the curtain back. I have a new role at work. And that disallows me from seeing movies when I would have normally seen them, which was like in the morning before work, like an old person. But anyway, that, and then I went to Korea for 2 weeks, and then we were gonna pod about Sinners, I guess, or Thunderbolts, and then I think Tej went to Mexico, and I'm sure did totally legal and normal things in Mexico.
Yep. Nothing to report.
Yeah, and so
Nothing
just
to
all that, and we just kept going. Yeah, we should pod. Hey, yeah, sure, we should pod. And then Thunderbolts went by, and we're like, yeah, we should pod. And then Mission Impossible just has now gone by for like 2 weeks, and we're like, fuck, sure, let's do it for Tom Cruise. You know what I mean?
I'm glad that we're finally back because June and July, especially June, are fucking stacked. So we need to definitely
get some reps in
and get some reps in. And nothing like coming back with a megapod. Let's do it.
Yeah, megapod. So we're talking about 3 movies, and there have been plenty of other summer blockbusters. Most of them, as Tej is dying via Benjamin. But most of these movies, like most of the summer blockbusters that we aren't going to talk about, like Final Destination 3 made like $100 million. Like,
did it really? Damn,
something like that. It made like crazy money.
I forgot that people are like super into those movies because I just will never. I'm good,
but this one apparently, that one, it was weird because it was been like 20 years since the last one came out.
Wait, how much did it make?
It made like $100 million. I'm pretty sure.
Damn, I did not know that. I still haven't seen it. I definitely am tapping in. I need to see that.
And then, of course, there was the Lilo and Stitches and Moana 2s that we never talked about. Or it was Moana 2 last year. What am I thinking about?
Moana 2 was earlier this year, I think.
Yeah.
But Lilo and Stitch did come out. And apparently it's good, even though basically none of those live action ones are good, except for the 101 Dalmatians one. I kind of like that one, but otherwise, I haven't.
The one that's least remakey.
Yeah, the one that is least like the original. Yeah,
guys, Final Destination 2, or Final Destination Bloodlines, I should say, made $233 million.
There's no, bro. We have to talk about the inflated stats that horror movies give people, and I love Final Destination movies, and so I haven't seen it yet, but
none of them were doing numbers like that. Yeah,
none of those other movies made $200 million.
You know what the problem is? Everybody wants to die. That's what.
It wouldn't have been 20 years since they made another one if they were making 200. How did that happen?
Hey, well, according to Republicans, we're going to die anyway, guys.
This is all of our Final Destination.
That trailer kind of rocks, but I didn't think it was a $200 million trailer either.
Yeah, and I think there's some other movies that we're missing that's going to be on like the summer blockbusters that we're not going to get to. But what we're really going to talk about is the movies that dominated the discourse, at least broadly. One, which still has a chokehold on the discourse because it just got released on VOD, so people are just tweeting the movie online.
Yeah, it's all over for spoilers.
Yeah. So we're talking about Sinners. We're talking about Thunderbolts because it's, I think, quite frankly, to us, I would say the consensus is the best Marvel movie in some time. And then
I agree.
Marvel Defender is like, yes, that's the best one in a minute.
And then we're going to talk about Tom Cruise, our Lord and Savior to many, our film savior. TC, doing it again with Mission Impossible.
You see this week that he's pubbing not only Mission Impossible but also Ballerina. This guy is fucking carrying cinema on his back. He is the one-man Jesus Christ figure that is saving cinema, just like Mission Impossible.
Just like this last Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to see Ballerina just because Tom Cruise said so. Literally, like I was uninterested, and now I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I will go.
I have to change a take. So remember when Tom Cruise told us all that the Flash movie was good? Remember that? And he lied. And
we talked about that a lot.
Lied to us, and we talked about it so much. And I was so hurt when I saw the actual movie that Tom Cruise would lie to us. I'm gonna take back my hurt because Tom Cruise loves cinema so much that he was willing to lie to our fucking faces. We know that Dwayne's going to lie to us whenever he's selling a new movie. Tom Cruise went out of his way to lie to us about someone else's movie. We've never seen dedication to cinema like that before, ever in life.
Yeah, the reason he's also plugging Ballerina, one, I think it's gotten okay reviews so far. I think early screenings came out. They had to reshoot a lot of that movie just to put Keanu in because they're like, oh shit, I don't know how we sell this movie. Just so,
wait,
I love
that's true.
Yeah, there's a bunch of parts that like look out of place if you've watched like the trailers or stuff where like John Wick with it, Keanu Reeves with his John Wick hair just shows up. And they have a fight that's in the trailer.
Why
and
did they think that they reshot
like you can
go sell this movie without? Why did they think not to even give him a cameo? How did they miss that?
I don't know, but I mean, I like Ana de Armas, but I don't know if they thought it was going to sell on the back of just her alone. It wasn't. It
wasn't. But I feel like they should have tried. That would have been cooler.
Yeah. So
I disagree with that. I think you just got to. He doesn't have to show up for a long time. Like I know that they fight because they fight in the trailer. I would have rather than I see now why they put it in the trailer because I would much rather have not known that he was going to be this movie. But I always assumed that he would be in this movie, so I find it interesting that they didn't do that originally.
But also the let's see, what was I going to say? Oh, but also Tom Cruise is promoting that movie because he may or may not be canoodling, if you will, with Ana de Armas.
That's true. That also is an important context.
Yeah. So I need to tweet out this episode really quick. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with?
We want to start with
Sinners.
We'll do it in the orders they came out, which happens to be the order in which is most interesting to talk about them. Sinners has to go first.
Okay, let's start with Sinners. If you don't know, everybody in America saw this movie, and if you didn't, you're racist. So, 7.9 Sinners on IMDb, rated R, 2025, 2 hours, 17 minutes long, written, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, Miles Catton, Saul, let's see, Saul Williams, I guess, he's his father, but Jack O'Connell, and then what is she Allen now? Haley Allen? It's probably still Steinfeld.
Steinfeld Allen, probably.
Yeah.
She's like a hyphenator. I would, yeah.
Yeah,
Haley,
that's her stage name now.
Haley Steinfeld,
Academy Award nominee
in her most serious film in like 10 years. So congratulations to her for getting back into it. Yeah, so Sinners, if you don't know the plot by now, let's see. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Like I said, written, directed by Ryan Coogler, 84 Metascore. I don't have it pulled up on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll get that in a second. But it $90 million budget, and it was a phenomenon. It is so far, it's still playing pretty wide, like in a lot of theaters, even though they've just released it on VOD. But it made $351 million, and there was a lot of hand wringing in the trades about will original cinema succeed on the back of Sinners and Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, and there was that one weird Variety article that I think people dunked on that author for, where it was like it didn't make its money back, and then it just shattered original IP box office record.
Really fucked that one up, Variety. Completely every fucking day that tweet was getting dunked on every day for like.
Because it's not like anything they were saying in it was wrong. It's just like their tone was so fucked up. Like, why'd you do
that? Sinners is probably the most widely best reviewed film of the year so far. It has a 90.
Easily.
Easily.
Let's see. I don't want to allow ads on Rotten Tomatoes. Give me a fucking break. It has a 97% critic score and a 96% audience score. I won't read the critics consensus because Rotten Tomatoes is messing up. Anyway, we're going long on this. I got to tweet the episode, but Dex, we'll start with you. What did you think of Sinners?
Easily the best movie of the year so far. Probably the best movie of the last 12 months. Like, to me, I'm not a big horror movie guy, as we know on this podcast, but this is like my level of horror. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's scary, it's bloody, but it's not like,
Not super scary.
Yeah, it's not super scary. It's just got a little couple tense moments. The music gets really loud, and you're like, and that's it. But yeah, in terms of like the storytelling and the world building, everything here is perfect, and just emotionally like punches you in the gut, like with the 4 or 5 finales that this movie has, which is probably its only demerit. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan gave a career best performance twice, basically. It's really hard for an actor playing doubles to make them feel like two separate people, but he really did that. You could, by the end of it, I could tell like when I was looking at Smoke or when I was looking at Stack without having to like have it explained to me or like notice a color or whatever. They're just different people. So yeah, that was dope. Haley Steinfeld, she's great in this. I've always liked Haley Steinfeld, but she's never really been in anything like good the last like 10 years. So I never really
Hey, the Hawkeye show was good.
She's good in things, but like the best movie that she's been in outside of True Grit was like the Pitch Perfect films.
Yeah.
Bumblebee, maybe like like
those Pitch Perfect films are also like I understand that when you said like that's not good, but also those movies are fucking good.
I
love them.
So good.
I love them, but you know what I'm saying.
Also, like when was the last Pitch Perfect movie? It's been a minute. Like,
it's been a minute.
2018.
Those movies are way funnier than Have Any Business Being.
She was great here again. Good to see her do something a little more serious. It's still funny though. Especially her character. Her character was very fucking funny. But obviously Miles Catton or whatever his name is, he steals the movie, and it's crazy. This was his first time acting in anything.
Unbelievable.
He like didn't have a Wikipedia page when I looked him up after seeing the movie. I was like, what? Where'd this kid come from? But yeah, he's phenomenal. He carries the weight of the film, like musically and emotionally and all this other shit. That's the other thing I really liked about this movie is that like it just like turned into a musical for no reason. And there's a Kendrick Lamar video in the middle of it, and it just worked. Yeah, I love everything about this movie. I'm gonna just keep talking in circles about it. I feel like there's a lot I'm not like getting to, but everything about it is good. The atmosphere is good. The cinematography is good. The story is good. The characters are good. Like it's all good. It's A+, best movie of the year so far for sure. Gonna be hard to top.
It's tough because we all watched it literally like probably 2 months ago now. So it's trying to remember. I should have seen it again in theaters, and I might try to get to it before it actually goes out of theater because nothing's really. I mean, there's Ballerina, but like nothing else is really playing right now. But like, yeah. So to your point, and Tej, we'll get to you in a second. It's like a music. It becomes a musical in the way that like, and maybe this is weird comparison, but like La La Land is a musical. Like La La Land has like way more like I'm going to stop and sing sort of thing now. But like you know what I'm saying, where it's more incorporated and it's not singing in the rain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Feels more like a Star is Born kind of.
No, that's it. It was A Star is Born. That's what I wanted to say. God damn it. Not La La Land.
Yeah, Star is Born, they don't like turn and face the camera and sing to you, right? That's more of
that's exactly what I wanted to say, and I haven't thought about it in 2 months. And you just you're right. It was A Star is Born, not La La Land.
You said La La Land, and I was like, I don't know if I quite
God,
Star is Born. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's what I meant, and that's what I came out of the theater thinking. It was like, man, this is the most depressing musical since A Star is Born. Anyway. Teach, go ahead.
That kid's phenomenal.
It's a masterpiece, man. It's obviously we know what this director has done before. He's made a whole bunch of very cool shit. Even Black Panther 2, I rewatched Black Panther 2 before I went to go see Sinners. And it's just better than it has any right to be. Like,
for sure.
You lose your star, you lose a driving force of that movie, and you're still able to like cobble this movie around this relatively unknown actor as your villain and like a bit character from your first movie. It's like that is fucking impossible to do, and it's not the greatest movie in the world, and it's got flaws, but it is still, you can just see that he has so much vision. He has such a voice and such a way of kind of building worlds for you and putting you in front of characters that are interesting. I've seen it now 3 times. I actually just saw it a couple weeks ago, again, when it was re-released for more IMAX viewings. And what really strikes me every time is that first 30 minutes, it's like, obviously we've shown you that there's going to be some kind of gnarly attack, and we know that there's going to be vampires in the movie because of the trailer and because if you're paying any attention at all to it. But obviously a lot of people went into this movie not paying attention at all because they're just not into movies like that, and they don't care who Ryan Coogler is, or at least they didn't before they saw Sinners. Or maybe they saw Black Panther, but it's not like they keep in touch with Coogler at all or keep up with his work. So a lot of people were only given the kind of introduction to the movie, the layout, and then you're kind of like in a movie that's not a vampire movie at all. It's like the 30 minutes of the world building, it to me is the most successful part of the movie. And it's like you watch that first 30 minutes and you realize like wherever this movie was going, whether it was going to a vampire movie or was going to stay of the same tone and just watch the lives of these people, like I was into that movie. Like it already looks great. Our performances are great. Michael B. Jordan is doing something we've never seen him do before. And I am a Michael B. Jordan defender. I really like his work, but this is easily the best, most interesting thing that I've ever seen him do. And it took this, like these guys have been working together now pretty much on every Coogler movie. They just keep working together. And so they have a real way of showcasing their art together, and they're both improving each other. They're both making the other one better, and it's a really symbiotic, amazing relationship that they have. But it's just tonally so good, and then you're dumped into a vampire movie, and it's like, this is the superpower of Ryan Coogler. He loves genre movies. He makes genre movies, but he could put so much shit on top of these genres in the traditional sense that all his films feel so layered. Like he made sports movie with Creed. Creed is just a sports movie. It's got all the beats of a sports movie. It's got the bare bones of every sports movie you like exists in Creed. Even though it's IP, even though I'm iterating on old IP, I know the bare bones of a sports movie, but I'm going to paint some shit on top of that and soup it up in a way that's my voice specifically, and it's going to add depth to all the characters in places where it's like most of the vampire movies we love, all the characters are flat. Like we don't spend a lot of time doing character development because we're in a fucking vampire movie. We expect there to be rules and there's going to be gnarly kills, and this movie has that. Like this movie lives up to the lore. You get your gnarly kills, but we're also going to build these characters in a way that you're really going to care about them by the time the vampire shows up in the movie. And it's such a wild ride. It's an absolute masterpiece. Everything about it is an A. When I first saw the big swing in the middle of the movie where you're all of a sudden realize you're in some like future interpollistic like weaving in different eras of music into that scene, I was flabbergasted by it. I could not believe what I was watching. I was already vibrating on a very high level, and then all of a sudden that happens, and it's like that's why people go to the movies. Like that's how you get people. Ryan Coogler understands. Even going back to that 10-minute Kodak thing, like I am a nerd about this stuff, so of course I'm paying attention to that. But that thing got like 50 million views. Like people were already into whatever the hell this movie is going to be because hearing Ryan Coogler talk for 10 minutes about how movie cameras and how they work and how they operate and what's the best way to actually go see his film was already indicative of this number is probably going to be big if this movie lives up to what we think it might live up to. I think it's easily the movie of the year. I think it's probably going to win Best Picture. And it's Coogler's masterpiece, man. He's given us so much dope shit, so much great cinema. He's never made anything bad, but this is his masterpiece and it's original IP. And I don't play the whole game where I complain a lot about all the sequels because I want all of it. I want the original films. I want the sequels. I want the universes. I want all of it. So give me all of it. But the fact that he was able to create something like this understand what he was trying to make and have one clear vision and voice throughout the film, it's just incredible. And it's probably the most fun people have had at the movie theaters in years. And it's that kind of movie. And you're right. If you haven't seen this movie, you're probably a racist. And we didn't even see the racist uprising against this movie because it was so fucking good. The Republicans didn't even try to make a culture war out of it. They're like, yeah, whatever. Let's just talk about something else. Like, there's nothing they can say about this film because
that shit was pretty. That shit was pretty good.
Yeah, I went into the hate, but that shit was pretty good. So it's an A+, man. There's no other grade that I could possibly think to give this film. It's an
A+. You know what's funny is because like obviously like he got well known. I believe this is for what happened there. Okay, am I back?
You never left.
You're good.
Oh, okay. My computer quite literally just like the screen went black, so that's fine. We're doing great here, guys. Anyway, it's funny because Fruitvale Station, his first film, it's what he was known for in Tough Watch, but it put him on the map. But he went from that to directly directing one of the biggest Marvel films of all time, arguably, if not the most important, one of the most important Marvel films of all time. And then he had kind of worked in genre, which is, to say he hadn't made very many films. And I think he's made 4-5 movies, and he's already synonymous with like one of the Coogler being one of the preeminent names of directing in Hollywood, but he's worked in genre. Creed. He came back for Wakanda Forever. But really the only other original film that he had made was Fruitvale Station.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see that this is a vampire movie at its core, it's not that, but the genre, it is a vampire movie. Some would say, like detractors would probably say it was a crutch, but the way that he uses that genre to blend in the story that he's willing to tell and also give you entertainment, because it's like, people would probably go see it because it's a Ryan Coogler film, but it's not going to make this is the cynic in me. It's not going to make $350 million if it's just the exploration of black music through time. You know what I mean? Like to make $350 million, you have to have the oomph, the go that I think regular audiences come to the movie theater for, that then get word of mouth. So that oomph is, quite frankly, the vampiresness of it all. But using that and weaving in the fact that we haven't talked about, Jack O'Connell and his performance, because it's
just about to say that.
So amazing. As what's it? Remick as Remick, an Irish vampire that it weaving that in and weaving in the sort of vampires as the taking, the soul sucking, not only of life, but of music, of this culture that he so desperately wants to survive. For some reason, the vampires feed off of tunes. You know what I mean? Like they
just love the jams, man.
They love the jams, yeah. So like,
man, when they are singing outside of that thing, when they sing that song, that is it's played so funny.
The Irish jig is the best thing I've been listening to.
Incredible. And it's not even like it's bad. Like a sloppier filmmaker would have just had them play something really bad and be like, oh, that's the joke. But it like plays really funny, even though the music is actually good. Like they sound good, but it's just so different than the music going on in the bar and the way they're presenting it, the way these black people are looking at them. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, it's just played so perfectly. Like, and to be able to kind of do both there, like you can be comedic, but also like really culturally specific and also really cool. That is the next level, man. Like, no who can do that?
Yeah, it's crazy because it goes from very funny to like kind of jamming to kind of scary because Michael B. Jordan is just like this big ass fucking Irish jigging vampire that's like staring in the middle of nothing, and you're like, damn, like they got his ass doing this Irish jig.
Yeah, him and Haley Steinfeld. I mean, in making him Irish, and that's just enough of like they have that exchange at the end of like when he's saying the Lord's Prayer or whatever it was, about like, that's what they said to, Irish people have been exploited for a millennia. So like, but using that sort of in a way to quote unquote relate to the plight of Black people in America, while also not quite grasping what they're going through too, is, I mean, just the storytelling in it and weaving it in that way is so good. But on top of that, you have just a kick-ass film, like a fucking just, ooh, I was like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. Like, I'm like when he kills the KKK. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's when he kills the KKK and he comes out in slow motion with like a Tommy gun and he's throwing a grenade in there. It's like, that scene's kind of added on in the end for like no reason, but it's also like, fuck yeah. Like, I'm like,
get us this.
It was like, and that's what you go to movies for. But more so than that, and Siege, you mentioned it. I thought the film for a second, I was like, okay, Coogler, what are we doing? I thought it threatened to get away because all of a sudden he's in the middle of this genre film that I thought was a genre film about vampires. And it takes forever to kind of like really get into the meat and potatoes of that. He starts to weave in like hip hop and rock and roll and like characters that aren't technically in the world. He starts to like weave through, like he starts to weave in people who aren't there, and like Jimi Hendrix playing the guitar, and then he puts in like gin and juice like sample in the middle of it. I don't know if that's what it was, but it was like he puts
that West Coast sound for sure.
Yeah, it was a West Coast beat in the middle of it, and he has people, on turntables in the middle of this 1940s party, and then people playing electric guitar. And I was like, what is happening? But then I found myself when the camera pans up around through the party, and then basically the sky opens up and then the whole thing burns away. And he comes back down and looks back down on the party. I levitated. I was like, this is starting to get in a way, but now my skin is tingling, and I haven't felt that way in a movie in a long, long time. It is an A+. I don't know if it's the best movie of all time, obviously, but like it was genuinely what you go to movies for. It is why you go to movies. It is why this is still important. And it is why that one, that you are able to tell these stories, but two, that you're able to entertain people in this way. You're not getting this on TikTok, dog. You're not getting this on Apple TV. You're not. You got to go to the biggest theater possible to let Ryan Coogler cook. And that's what happened. That movie's an A+. This movie rocks. Like, yeah.
The whole Miles Catton thing, that man, his voice, like just before you even hear him sing, his speaking voice, I was like, what is this voice that he's like? How can a man with this voice possibly be a stranger to us as we turn on this big major blockbuster film? It is insane that they're able to find a guy like that to put at the center of this movie, and he's mind-blowingly good. Not just at the singing, but at the acting. He's incredible. His performance is out of this world. The fact that Coogler is able to get that performance out of somebody who's never acted before, from all that we know about him, good luck, guys. Like that man can go do whatever he wants. Like he can do whatever he wants. He can cast whoever he wants. It is insane that he was able to do that. And if this is what Nolan does, like, and he loves Nolan. Nolan makes the biggest possible movies. He's going to put someone in the center of it. He's going to put people around it. He's going to make everybody interesting, and he's going to give you a great fucking movie. And I don't even love every Nolan movie, but like when Nolan hits, like Oppenheimer, that shit's 3 hours. That shit could have been 6 hours. But Nolan knows, I know how to present a movie to you. It's going to have these big highs, these big climaxes, but it's also going to be layered, and it's going to have something to say. And obviously what Nolan's trying to say and what Coogler is trying to say are completely different, but they both really understand their use of their own voice, and they both really understand how to get people to sit down at the movie theaters. And that is the rarest thing in Hollywood. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He owns parts of this damn film in 25 years. And to hit a home run,
the whole thing, he owns it. He owns it back.
And to hit a home run on this movie with that kind of setup, he's out of here. He's on the next level. Coogler has now cemented himself and placed himself among the living goats, amongst whoever you put up there, not just in terms of impact in terms of like the box office, but also just in terms of critical acclaim. He's able to do both of those things. He's on the next level. He has crashed through the ceiling. He's out of here now. He's the guy now.
Yeah, it's interesting that the whole twins thing too with Michael B. Jordan. We haven't, I don't think, talked about him enough because he kind of gets like even like a lot of people feel that the movie succeeds sometimes in spite of Michael B. Jordan, but we've had enough evidence to the contrary that I think he's carried a lot of these movies, like, and he is a legitimate movie star. Like, not on the level of like obviously Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or anything like that, but for young millennials, I guess he is the closest thing I think that we have now to a certified movie star. He's carried 2 franchises on his back. He's one of the best villains of all time in Black Panther. Like, people will go see Michael B. Jordan in shit now. And I think, regardless of what you think about his acting, but I think this was I think Smoke is legitimately one of the best characters that I've seen in a movie in a long time. And that's crazy to differentiate him from the Stack character as well, too. But like Smoke on his own, I think is one of the best characters that I've seen in a long time. And it's really funny because you can watch this and the bones of, and I don't know if fine, I'll bring it up. Like this definitely was probably written with like Jonathan Majors was going to be in this movie, right? Like,
what a loser.
Yeah. like he folded so hard that like they just said, no, we'll just get Michael B. Jordan to play both of them.
They wouldn't even have to costume him. He could have brought his own wardrobe to the set and just walked onto set with his normal fucking clothes on and been right there in the juke joint.
Yeah. But they've come out and said that no, that wasn't the case, that he was never like attached to this film. But like I don't believe that for a second.
They're lying.
I actually do. I feel like this movie is much worse with Jonathan Majors in it.
I think that it's a very different film with Jonathan Majors because they're going to make Majors play Smoke, and I just think that Michael B. Jordan, I could not imagine somebody else playing that character because I know they're not going to make Jonathan Majors Stack. So I think that, and I don't believe them that he wasn't going to be, because they will not let me forget that these 3 were running around together. I know that that he did not direct Creed 3, but these guys were best buddies before Jonathan Majors fucked it up and tried to beat up a white woman. And they got the fuck away from Jonathan Majors, and we ain't seen them anywhere near Jonathan Majors since. But I remember the vibes after Creed 3. And I remember
they were talking about where the De Niro and Pacino.
They
came out at the
Oscars.
They
thought that they were going to go on that run where these guys were just going to be on the movie sets together and keep making movies together. And Coogler was there, and they were just going to go on this run. And that was the plan. And they're all 3 very talented dudes, so I totally understand it. But one of those dudes tried to beat up a white woman, so now he's out of the Rat Pack. Maybe they'll pick him up alongside the road in the next 4 years. Maybe not. But I think this is a better movie with Michael B. Jordan playing both roles. Yeah. And I would not have said that prior to the Jonathan Majors scandal, because that Jonathan Majors is an incredibly talented actor. But yikes, man, yikes.
Yeah.
Also sucks that Michael B. Jordan, every time someone asks him about Jonathan Majors, he's like, "Yeah, that's my boy." Like, wish you would stop saying that, actually.
Yeah. Did y'all see Matthew McConaughey speak up on behalf of Jonathan Majors?
We talked about that last time, yeah.
They think we can't see this. We can't see through these press games, bro. Matthew McConaughey don't know. I know they've been on a set before. Matthew McConaughey don't know who the fuck Jonathan Majors is. Y'all better stop playing with me, bro.
Yeah, man.
I'm falling for that.
Do you think Matthew McConaughey has watched White Boy Rick?
God.
Hell no. Hell no.
He might have gone
watch it when it was finished.
He might have gone to the premiere. Might have. If it was in Austin and he happened to be in town.
If there was a UT game that weekend, no thank you, sir. He wasn't going to.
How did they even get McConaughey into White Boy Rick? How did that actually happen?
there's a moment when he was like, I'm only taking serious roles, you know what I mean? And like anything that kind of looked serious that crossed his desk, he was in. But
what a
yeah,
career!
then now he hasn't been in a movie and is making AI commercials, like whatever.
We need you back, McConaughey. Please come back to us. They said they're going to do another True Detective season with him and Woody. I don't
know how they're going to do that, but sure, I'm in. It's the best season of TV in forever. Yeah, sure, whatever.
I'll watch it.
We can talk on and on about Sinners, I think, and I think we've done it pretty good justice, but like it's yeah, we'll see what happens with the awards if the Academy still has a stick up their ass.
You don't think it's got a chance at Best Picture?
No, I think it's so popular and so undeniable and so well regarded, and Coogler already has a little bit of juice because some of those Black Panther films were, the Black Panther films were getting nominated for shit, and the second
Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, the original, and then and Angela Bassett got nominated for an acting Oscar for the second one. So like he has a little bit of juice, Coogler does, as far as like, will he be nominated for Best Director or will this have a chance to actually win Best Picture? Like, I think when it doesn't win Best Picture inevitably because it goes to,
Wicked Part 2.
Yeah, something like whenever it goes to whatever won the Palme d'Or this year, that people are going to riot in the streets and be like, the Oscars are so fucked up, like we do every year. Yeah. But yeah, I think
he either wins Best Picture or Best Director. I don't think they'll give him both, but I think he will be nominated for both.
I think it's going to win Best Picture, man. This feels like Everything Everywhere All at Once more than Challengers to me.
I was just going to say that.
Like,
man, they shitted on Challengers, man. Don't bring up.
I don't remember exactly when Challengers came out, but it feels like it was around this time. Everyone was like, "This is the best
in the year.
We love this."
Didn't it come out in like April?
Like, died out. Yeah. But Everything Everywhere All at Once came out in like March into April. It came out like 8 different times across the nation or whatever. But yeah, it rode that momentum all the way through. The Daniels were out at every single press stop together, doing their thing on the awards tour. Like, so Ryan Coogler wants it. I feel like he can go get it. People like hearing him talk.
I was just going to say, because people like hearing him talk, Coogler's going to be at these events. He's going to be everywhere, man.
People want to hang out with Michael B. Jordan,
It feels more like Everything Everywhere All at Once than it feels like Challengers. Zendaya was doing Dune 2 stuff while that was like in the press tour. The other two guys we didn't really give a shit about. Like,
Yeah, get Delroy Lindo out there talking.
Man, we didn't even mention him, but he is just
so good. He was so good.
Phenomenal in this film. He is mind-blowing in this film, man.
Also, this movie's funny. Like, way funnier than the subject matter has any right to be.
Shout out to Cornbread.
Cornbread's funny. What a great cast. Like, the casting is it is the arrival of a true artsman. It is. Obviously, we've all seen the talent that Coogler had, but this was the moment. This will be the moment that we all remember when we're thinking about his career in 40 years. This is the moment where he supplanted himself amongst the greats. And to see him have that much power is just going to be incredible. I can't wait to see what he wants to do next.
Yeah, it'll just be interesting because the Academy historically just doesn't award genre films for shit.
True.
Like, they just don't do it. And real quick, before we go, it wouldn't be the One Take podcast without us talking about this. I understand that, and congratulations to the newly wed couple. I'm sure that NFL MVP 6'5", 250-pound Josh Allen is super secure in his marriage, but good God Almighty, I'm a Christian. What are you making me watch in this?
Ryan Coogler put some nasty shit in this movie. That man is doing some stuff over there, and hey man, some people like a little spit. That's a true statement.
A little.
Some people like a lot of spit. That was a lot of spit. That was a whole lot of spit.
And then they just kept it going on every single, like, every one of those, like, stupid YouTube series that you see of, like, we're going to paint balloons while we do interviews or whatever. Yeah. They were on that shit. Like, just
Preacher Boy said, I don't want you to go take no kind of shower. I don't want you to do no washing up. I want that thing fresh. Yeah. She said, I walked here. She said, stop. I walked here. Like, I walked to the club in the Mississippi heat. And he said, girl, I don't care about nothing like that. Nothing. You are fine as hell. That's real bars. Okay, that man was speaking for a certain community. All right,
everybody going.
That's incredible stuff. That's incredible shit.
I'm not gonna fault him for that, but that spit was outrageous.
The spit was outrageous. Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld flirting on every single YouTube channel in existence.
Shameik Moore is
Shameik Moore is having the worst. That guy plays fucking Spider-Man in literally the greatest Spider-Man movies to ever exist, and he is down bad. I don't understand how that could have happened to a person.
Shameik Moore's crying in the club right now every time he gets a new Hot Ones update.
I know that spit burned in his chest like ether, bro. I know it did.
Actually got married in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, in real life to the NFL MVP. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. Neither here nor there. But let's move on to the next movie. Thunderbolts.
How hard do you think Shameik Moore was rooting against the Bills
box office
playoffs this year?
In the Bill? Oh yeah,
he was the happiest man in America when the Bills lost that playoff game, bro.
He had crazy parlays on that. Thunderbolts asterisk 2025 PG-13.
AKA the new Avengers.
What? No. Ew.
I like it. Fuck it.
2 hours, 7 minutes long.
It's a good gag. It's not true, but it's a good gag.
Yeah. 7.6 on IMDb, 68 Metascore. After finding themselves ensnared in a death trap, an unconventional team of anti-heroes must go on a dangerous mission that will force them to confront the darkest corners of their past. Directed by Jake Shire, written by Eric Pearson, Joanne Kalo, and Kurt. Wait, which one wrote the comic book? Any of these?
Hell if I know, dude.
Okay, so Eric, it's basically written by Eric Pearson and Joanna Kalo, and it stars our girl, our queen,
the young goat,
Florence Pugh. Everybody carrying this fucking franchise.
She is just
on her back.
We were early. That woman is she's just incredible, man. She carries this film. She is this film.
Yeah. Sebastian Stan
could
is
not
back.
do this movie without her.
100% couldn't. Sebastian Stan is back. David Harbour is back. Wyatt Russell is back. And then the host of other
Bucky
Julia
put up
Louis
7 shots in this movie. He put up 7 shots, but he made 6 of them. Set some screens. He was a consummate team player out there. He was like Miles Turner for the Pacers. Like he was a consummate team player out there. But he's got star power still. So,
and then our boy
Bucky shit.
Our boy, Lewis Pullman, Bob from Top Gun, playing Bob again.
Shout out to Bob.
Also, I just want to point out that Geraldine, this one, Nathan was, just openly flirting with Sebastian Stan, so that's funny.
You know who was cast in that role prior to Pullman being cast in that role?
Yes, but go ahead.
Stephen Young was in that role.
Oh,
which I also think would be a pretty good movie, but I think Pullman does a great job.
Would have been a different movie.
Yeah, that feels way different.
This movie,
Stephen Young, I don't know how old he is. He feels older.
He's in his 40s, I think, at this point. He was really young on The Walking Dead.
Yeah, he's 41 now.
But this movie made around the same amount of money as Sinners on twice the budget. So that's bad, but
you can't compare it to Sinners. It did good. It did good business. Not amazing business, but they needed a double. Marvel needed to hit a double.
Yeah,
and that's what they did.
$371 million on a $180 million budget. But let's see what I think, because it was so critically acclaimed, quote unquote, basically 3 out of 5 stars, 88% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics, and let's see, and 93% from audiences. So it was liked, and I think they really needed a well-liked film.
Yes.
Tej, we'll start with you. We talked about this at length on What We Watch with Mo weeks ago now, but so I'm sure you can go back on our Twitter feed and find our thoughts on it. But go ahead and tell us what you think.
I think it was just it's a fun time. It's, first of all, I know that this is kind of our bit, but outside of the bit, Florence Pugh is just amazing, and building this movie around her is just such a smart idea at a time where Disney's dealing with the fact that the biggest stars across Marvel are mostly gone. or we're not using them as much as we used to use them. So we've got to find new stars, and we have a bankable, proven, bona fide number one option right in the middle of the MCU already because of what she did in the Black Widow movie, which she makes way better than it had any reason to really be. It's a perfectly fine movie. So putting her and putting David Harbour and having that dynamic between them and then building out, like, they got good people that are in the roles, but Florence Pugh is somebody you can run an offense through, and that's what this film is doing.
It's get a bucket guy.
Yeah, like you need somebody that's gonna go just get a bucket and go beat one-on-one coverage. Like she's perfect Jalen Brunson. She can do the dramatic stuff. She's way overqualified to do dramatic stuff in Marvel. She's way overqualified to do comedic stuff in Marvel because she's funny in all her movies. She can do dramatic stuff really well, and she's one of the best young actresses working right now. So you have her already in the system. You need to run your offense through her. So I thought it was a very smart decision from that perspective. I think it's well written. It's got a very cool villain. It is not the least predictable movie, or it's not. The plot is pretty linear, but the journey's cool. And then you have a brave decision to end your movie without having a big monster battle fight with stuff blowing up. You have a more metaphorical end of a fight. And Royden stole this take from me in the space, but I'm going to steal it from him on this podcast. My first thought after watching this film, my first fucking thought was, man, I wish that we had done something similar with Shang-Chi, because what made that movie something that was less, we should view it in the same way we view Black Panther. The first two acts are just as phenomenal. It looks just as good. It's just as fun. But in that movie, despite the fact that they were making a kung fu movie in which we have an ending, usually you have bad guy versus good guy fight for the village. We have a big monster fight with dragons and CGI and Aquafina shooting arrows at people, and it just completely brings all the momentum the movie built to a thud. It's like, this is the worst way to end this movie, but you feel like you have to because you're Marvel, and you think that's why people came to see this film. But what you really did was give them 2 acts of a near perfect film, and then you shit all over it because you thought you had to for money reasons. And so in this movie, because it's smaller stakes, because it's dealing with something as heavy as, it's kind of, it's like basically about depression. It's basically about sadness and people's internal sadness and how they deal with their feelings. Having the movie end in the way that it did is just something you've never seen before. You've definitely never seen it in a comic book movie. How effective is it, or how, it's fine. It's not like, oh my God, that's the best way I've ever seen to end a movie, but it's a lot better than now we're going to have them have a big boss fight. And I just think there's enough fighting in the movie to make it interesting. All these people are kind of low-level, hand-to-hand combatants, so it's not like obviously, when you have a villain who literally has every superpower in the world, you're like, these people can't just fight him head up. Like, that would be a stupid way to end this movie.
The dude with knives and guns is
like, what are they gonna do? He cleaned the whole team up easily. He didn't even take a hit. He's just like throwing them around. It's like, first of all, that was very well shot, very cool, and then you realize, oh, we're not going into a big boss fight, because how could we? He just dealt with them all in 5 minutes and they didn't touch him. So I just thought it was a good, solid Marvel movie that everybody enjoyed. I greatly enjoyed.
And you weren't waiting on Harrison Ford to turn red?
No.
You weren't disappointed by the lack of that happening? You came to the movie anyway and still liked it?
Oh, Jesus.
I would give it.
Can you imagine they gave away the Void fight at the very end of the movie in the marketing?
Yeah, that would be so nasty. But I think I gave it a B+. I think it's a B+. I think it's good. I enjoyed it. I only saw it the once, but I will definitely be watching it again. And Florence Pugh, we trust, man. She's a talent.
You could feel, literally, it almost felt like they came to a screeching halt, and they were like, we got to make this movie about Florence Pugh. Like, before the movie even started, they start with her and they basically end with her, and they were like, yeah, we got to make this about Florence Pugh.
Yeah,
now, whether they went back and
of running the offense through her, like, that's
Go ahead, she's your girl, man.
Yeah, they were like, Sebastian Stan, he's great. We got to have him in this movie. The Pullman guy from Top Gun, we like him a lot too. Let's have him in here.
Stranger Things dad.
Stranger Things dad, John Walker. We think all of y'all could be really cool. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, you're a legend. Everyone loves you. But that's Kevin Durant. So like, we're gonna pass the ball to Kevin Durant.
The chemistry going to matter when you have to guard Steph, you know?
Exactly. Shout out to Quarter Gold. Go check out that episode, which I guess is pretty recent in our feed. Yeah. Yeah, Florence Pugh carries this movie, and it's so dope to see. I think it's not groundbreaking or whatever, but it's like it's a fun choice again for the MCU to just make a movie where the villain is depression and like lack of purpose. Like, you know,
right?
The villain is like your intrusive thoughts. Like, that's cool, you know, and not something it feels
unresolved
like
trauma.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like, you know, the last few movies that they've made where it's like the villain is the concept of space and time like, or whatever. It's, you know, a very human story, very boots on the ground. There's like a couple superpower moments, but like it's mostly just Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan just like punching people. So it gets to be like really grounded and kind of stripped down, and it's a good departure for the MCU. I hope that they start to do more like moody one-off movie shit that's not like, oh, we have to have every Fox character come hang out and fight a random horde. It's like, nah, we're just sending Florence Pugh to deal with trauma. Like,
yeah,
that's cool. But I give it probably like a B plus. One of the better Marvel movies of late, but not like, I mean, when you're watching Sinners and then coming into Thunderbolts after that, it's like,
yeah,
I've seen
that's
A+ cinema.
tough on the that's a tough
this
act
feels
to follow.
like a grade below.
But yeah, but on the grand scale of watching shit fart poop butt of Captain America, Red Hulk, or whatever the fuck it was called.
Man, that film fucking stinks.
The stinky doo-doo garbage that was. Like, to watching this, it felt like a cool breeze on a summer day.
That's facts.
Like, it was, I mean, and it's really kind of, I mean, for PG-13 Disney Marvel heavy, quote unquote, heavy subject material, but they're making jokes about Lewis Pullman's character doing meth and like going in deep dark depressions, and the final battle is literally like ends on a group hug, like, you know what I mean, like
literally like a group hug is the way that we end that. It's crazy.
Yeah, so man, I really enjoyed this movie. It felt like they finally took their own note of when, you know, years ago when they brought in Chloe Zhao, and who was the man, Dustin Daniel Cretton, who made Shang-Chi, and these quote unquote indie film, you know, well, they were indie filmmakers, but these creatives instead of folks that directed TV, kind of like the Russos, who succeeded, but like these folks that worked in studio systems that would kind of just bend to the will of whatever Kevin Feige and the powers that be would want. And they brought in these creatives and they were like, oh, well, you go do your thing. But in the end, it still kind of felt like the studio would have their hands on it. It felt like they loosened the reins a little bit on this one. And to say that, you know, what's his name? Now I'm blanking on his name. Berger, I think, is the director of this film. Let me check. No, sorry, Schreier. Jake Schreier. To say that like he's some big indie film, he's not really. He's made a couple of independent films, but what he's really known for is Beef. And yeah, so like, you know, he directed Paper Towns and he directed Robot and Frank, which, you know,
Beef is fun.
But like, he's really known for that. And then Joanne Kalo, who is known as the producer for like BoJack Horseman and The Bear and Hacks, and you can feel, and she's the consulting producer on Beef as well, but she's the showrunner of The Bear. And once you know that,
you can feel
really
The Bear.
Feel that. And you
can feel the BoJack Horseman as well. Like those are all those shows are about on some level depression and anxiety and sad people. So you could definitely feel that in this film and see how there was some synergy between Marvel, what they wanted to make, and who they picked to make it.
Yeah, and at a certain point, it just kind of feels like for the first time in a long time, they're like, I don't know, let them cook. And now this movie, I think, when Marvel has succeeded at its best, is as in letting these movies tell a little bit of a message. When it succeeded its best, quite literally, is the biggest movie of all time, which is the massive team up movie that really relies heavily on the source material in the comic books. But I think when these movies really succeed, and they're few and far between, is when you use these movies to tell sort of the message that you want to say, kind of like how Pixar does a little bit, where they use the framing of a kid's movie to tell the story, Turning Red, so on and so forth, movies that we love. But like, when they really, I think, succeed creatively is when they use use that filmmaking style to tell their story. America is dealing with a depression and anxiety and health crisis, and using a Marvel movie to be like, hey, sometimes we're sad. Like it's kind of novel in that space where this many people are going to see that. And if you want to look at, in a maybe even a more critical sense, like the first Iron Man movies is sort of a response to the war in the Middle East and the Bush administration and the mass militarization that we all, if you want to look at it like that too, I think when these movies have really done, the police state with Captain America, with the Captain America movies and Civil War and Winter Soldier, I think when you look at those movies, the reason they succeeded is that they had a kind of a story to tell within the frames of this Marvel machine. When they've gotten out ahead of their skis, they're just like, we got to make another Captain Marvel movie. What do y'all want to do? You know what I mean?
What if we had 2 more Marvels?
Yeah, exactly. That's when I kind of think, I'm like, nah, bleh. But like, we all love these movies, but I really had been really going down on them. That sounded weird. I really had been going down, really had been down on them. Okay. Really had been down on them recently. And I think, man, Captain America, you and I were like, that movie nearly broke us, I think.
It literally broke something in my spirit.
It ended the podcast, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened. It really shook something in my spirit. And I went in fully expecting it to be bad because Anthony Mackie stinks, but I couldn't even lay it all at his feet. And that's when I knew, like, damn, man, I wanted to hate. I was ready for the content reasons. I was gonna shit on Anthony Mackie. It was gonna be great. Man, I couldn't even put that on that black man.
Yeah.
I couldn't even put that on that black man. That shit stunk from head to toe. Everything about it was awful.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think allowing these movies to be to take more risks, quite frankly, sometimes it's not always going to work. But in the case of when you have this much talent on your cast, this much talent on your writing staff, and a director who clearly kind of knows how to tell this kind of story, it really succeeded. And I thought, I mean, some of it, it's not, nothing's new under the sun with these movies, but them going into the void and her like falling through windows and the camera shifting and the comedy of like the chicken suit and Sebastian Stan punching the guy. And he's like, I was on meth. Like that is an incredible line. And yeah. And all that to say, when Bucky Barnes still pops up, it still gets an audience reaction, which is crazy to think that he's now
a star, man.
Yeah.
When he pops into the movie and starts fucking punching down on cars and making them flip over, like he gets a legitimate movie star reaction. And and he's not in this movie for very long, but like he came off the bench and he scored 17 points. Like he just has a certain appeal to the audience, and it really got a pop in my theater and probably in every theater when he came on screen.
Yeah, and it seems like they found something between Florence Pugh and David Harbour, and they really like needed to exploit that. And the whole, Daddy, why didn't you love me stuff in the middle of the street's really good. I where it doesn't land the plane on some of these concepts, I think, as well as it needs to. It's kind of short. It's only 2.5 hours, not 2.5 hours. It's only 2 hours and 7 minutes, which is really short for some of these movies these days.
Did y'all see that the new Superman movie is 2 hours and 8 minutes?
I didn't see that.
It is now guaranteed to be the greatest film of all time.
Yep.
That's an incredible runtime. They should. I like that. That's one of my favorite things about this movie. Not every movie needs to be 3.5 hours.
That's what I'm saying.
To be, I'm in. Like, count me in if we're gonna. Mission Impossible is a movie that could have been one movie, but we watched 3 hours of movies when there was one movie in there.
Oh, that's my big takeaway. We'll talk about it in a minute.
I like the fact that it's like, okay, we're going to come in. We're not going to sit you there all day. We're going to tell you a story from start to finish that you'll have a good time with, won't get bored with. And that's like after what we experienced for the last couple of Marvel movies, some of which we defended on this podcast. I will still defend Thor 4 to this day, as flawed as it is.
Thank you.
But it's a perfectly good movie. It's a good time at the movie theaters, and we know that the big swing this year is Fantastic Four, but we got a very good movie a couple months before Fantastic Four, and it just fully supplants the fact that this is the smartest podcast in the world because we triple down on the fact that Florence Pugh is her. Put her at the center of stuff. We've been saying it for years. Put her at the center of stuff. Nolan or whoever else is making films, make a movie about a woman and put her at the center of it. Like, it's just a smart business idea. It's just good.
It really is crazy. And it's kind of disappointing. Like, I think these movies are still going, like, it's no longer a monoculture the way that it used to be. And patron saint of the podcast, I guess, but Sean Finney said this. It is interesting that now they finally found somebody it took this long to find somebody to recenter this around. And it sucks for Florence Pugh that she's now in sort of like the back end of what Marvel has become. But maybe she can turn it around. And if they truly do want to center her, it doesn't seem to have stopped her from acting in other interesting shit. So
not at all.
Yeah, she's like making 3 movies a year. So congratulations to her. Get the paycheck, and hopefully we can center this around her. I want to see more of these movies. I want to see more interplay between her and David Harbour. I thought the other cast was great. Spoiler alert: they just fridged?
That was so fucking nasty, bro. I like Taskmaster. I was really pissed off when that shit happened.
It happened so suddenly that I didn't even realize it was actually happening. I was like, oh, okay,
I had seen spoilers on Twitter, but I was just kind of like, no way. Like,
I had seen that like a character dies early on, but I was like, oh, okay, so they did that one that quickly just because like it's a diversion and they're about to actually kill another character. Like it was just instant. Like soon as she
why did they do that?
Was nasty. Why even put her in the trailers? Why even put her
in the marketing?
In the marketing, if you know that's what's gonna happen.
Why even like bring her back on screen to kill her at all? Like
that didn't make any
sense.
now
we're serious about this. People can die, I guess, but that poor
actress. I could not believe that happened. I was pissed. I like Taskmaster, but I was at least let her do a couple moves. Like she didn't even get to do any fucking moves, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It is interesting that they did have to bring back in people that we haven't, like if you hadn't watched Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or like don't remember what happened in the last Ant-Man pre-pandemic, you may be a little lost in this movie, but like they seem to have folded it all in together. Like
if you didn't watch like people don't even know who the fuck John Walker is except for the people that watched that show.
How many people were like, who's this ghost lady? You know what I mean? I don't know. It is funny that really like the bad guy in the whole movie is Julia Louis-Dreyfus too. Somebody like had to like reframe that for me where I was like, oh, well, the bad guy is the Void or whatever. And it's like, no, the bad guy is Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Like,
I don't think the Julia Louis-Dreyfus MCU stint is working for me.
This is your take, and you can die on this still, but
I don't think it's working for me. And I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I love her. Like Veep is some of my favorite shit ever. I love Seinfeld. She was even great in Funny People. That Jonah Hill and Laura London movie. Like she's she's good and stuff. She's good. Like I just don't think that this MCU thing
great
works.
actress.
Her character doesn't work for me at all.
They gave her a horrible character. It's been horrible since like she first debuted, and like none of the things she says are funny or like sinister. They're just weird. Like I just don't like her character. Like she's
too talented to be playing this character. I hate that for us.
That check
I truly hate that.
That check is clearing early and often.
Yeah, I don't blame her. I would take the check too. But man, I wish they gave her just let her be Julie Louis-Dreyfus. Like that's all you got to do. She's on your movie set. She's good. She's funny. Just let her. I just don't get it. I just truly don't get it.
And like they write good villains now. Like that's not a problem. Like other people have been great. There's Marvel villains recently. Like she just doesn't work.
Side note: could Lewis Pullman look any more like his dad?
It's crazy. Like he looks exactly like his dad.
That's so wild. Like I know kids look like their parents, but like not like that. Like it's like copy paste. It's real weird.
He's pretty good in this role. And obviously after you get to do something like Top Gun, like he just keeps on winning. Steven Yeun's loss here because you get a pretty good movie with Pullman here. I think Yoon would have been perfectly fine, but I like his performance as Bob and as the Void. And the Void is just like that. When we got to see his powers, like he really got to turn up on them. Like I was like, okay, that was actually cool. Like that scene was actually cool. It was dope as hell to watch. And I was like, all right, like this is the big superhero shit that we got in this movie, and I'm fine with that level. That was cooler than anything I saw in the entire Captain America movie. Like the entire thing. Like Red Hulk was there for 5 minutes, and by the time Red Hulk showed up, I couldn't give a shit less. I didn't care anymore. I was like, get me out of this movie theater, man.
I knew they were going to bring her back, but them killing that little girl in front of Red Guardian.
That was dark.
Whoa.
I said, God damn.
Everybody in the theater went, you.
Oh, shit. And the way they do it, like things have kind of calmed down, that she just disappears. I was like, that's good. The way they did it is amazing because I was very shocked by that.
That effect was really cool too. I think we could talk. I mean, I'll probably watch this movie again. I really enjoyed it.
I'll watch this movie again too. It's good.
Yeah. So I think it's like B+ all around for this.
That seems fair. That seems right.
That seems about right. Other than the caca doo-doo that was Captain America, Red Hulk, whatever. I think I gave that movie an F.
Y'all fucking hated that movie.
I hate it.
I listened back to that pod and I was like, damn, they really fucking hate this movie. And I was just sitting there in the middle of y'all.
That shit nearly broke me, man.
It was fine, y'all.
I keep getting the Hulu Disney Plus ads for that shit. And I'm like, God, get this shit off my TV. But you tweeted, Dex, I think, which is accurate. Like a million people are going to sit at home and watch that and be like, okay.
Yeah, that was fine.
Yeah. So let's talk about the reason that we're really here. The Mission Impossible.
Should you choose to accept it?
Should you choose to accept it, which, has he ever not?
Can't do it. Can't turn it down.
Yeah. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, which is not Dead Reckoning Part 2, right? What happened there, guys? Don't call it Dead Reckoning Part 1 either, because that's not what it's called anymore.
Yeah, just Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning. That sucks, actually.
God, this made me really appreciate Dead Reckoning a lot more. This movie. It's gonna sound like we hate this movie.
I feel the same way, and that's crazy because I don't love Dead Reckoning. Like I don't love it. I like certain parts of it, but this movie made me realize that Dead Reckoning was actually the zenith of this part of this story. This is one movie. This is one movie, bro. And we had to spend 7.5 hours to watch one movie with one cognizant idea and one through line. This is one movie, man. That pisses me off.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it. This is, oh man. Okay. So yes, this is the follow-up to 2022's Dead Reckoning. When did that come out? Because I know it got fridged by
23.
Yes, 23. Because it got fridged the week before. It came out the week before Barbenheimer, and everybody was like, "Nah, whatever."
We're going to.
That was the week before Barbenheimer. Wow.
Yeah, it was. And
so they didn't get any screens.
Most Americans go to like 2 movies a month, and they were like, "We're gonna do them both today." Barbenheimer came.
We're not gonna do it this week. Sorry, Tom Cruise. Like he was like campaigning to get it in IMAX screens, and then they just was like, "No, we're not gonna do that." So yeah, this is the follow up to that, which I think this has a weird production. So they made the first one. COVID and like strikes happened. So they have to, I think, then divide it into two. There's a lot of rewrites and reshoots. There's that famous clip of Tom Cruise screaming at producers over the COVID safety stuff.
Yep, I remember that.
So that goes on. He decides, Cruise and the powers that be decide to keep basically all of the crew cast on salary during all of these shutdowns while they're filming this movie, which was originally supposed to be Dead Reckoning Part 1, Part 2. All these strikes happen. This movie balloons up to $400 million. It's one of the most expensive movies of all time.
Wait, just this second movie,
just
though, right?
this second movie balloons up to $400 million. Regardless, it finally comes out, and it's a whole separate thing. This movie, Dead Reckoning, or The Final Reckoning, the Final Reckoning is 2 hours and 49 minutes long.
The longest Mission Impossible movie ever.
2025, PG-13.
That's just insane, bro.
People seem to like it. 7.5 on IMDb, 67 Metascore, an 80% from critics and an 89% from audiences. Our lives are the sum of our choices. Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. That's the IMDb description. Not a plot to a movie. Directed and written by Christopher McQuarrie, based on stuff by the TV series by Bruce Geller. And there's also Eric Jindrison has a writing credit on this as well. But stars, the gang is back. Tom Cruise, Haley Atwell, God bless. Just congratulations. Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Issei Morales, Palm Clementif, and then a host of all the TV actors that you've ever seen in your entire life. Holt McElhenney, Nick Offerman, Shea Wiggum, Charles Parnell is back, Greg Tarzan Davis, Angela Bassett, not a TV actor, but she's in here for 15 minutes.
She's the president now.
Yeah, Hannah Waddingham.
Shut up.
And then the biggest gasp, the biggest pop in the theater, our boy, our Severance King, Tremel Tillman.
Mr. Milchick, what up? How you doing?
He's got star power, bros. It's crazy to see where we've arrived. My theater fucking loved him. When he popped on screen, he got a huge pop. My theater loved him.
Yeah,
I knew he was going to be in the movie, but then like the movie's so long that by the time we got there, I'd forgotten. And so he popped up. I was like, "Oh hell yeah, he said this."
Somebody in the chat says, "Hey guys, can someone say, dude, we love you and hang on tight." Dude, we love you and hang on tight. You got this, buddy. We believe in you. So thanks for getting in the chat and watching us. But regardless, Tremel Tillman had the best lines in the entire thing. This movie has done okay. It's still trying to recoup that $400 million budget, $360 million worldwide. They're full court press on this before any more movies. I think Lilo and Stitch kind of like blew it out of the water.
Yeah, it did.
But sorry to Tom.
Start ducking release dates, man.
Really, I don't know what is up with Paramount. They do not have this thing down. They haven't figured it out. You got to start
ducking release dates. They eating your lunch, buddy.
Facts.
Hey, Dune 3, learn this lesson. Move.
Move your shit.
I don't care what they talk about, trying to make it a fucking double feature, whatever that shit was. No,
and
sir,
you took Sinners off of IMAX screens. Like, just not, again, both these movies just did not crush it when it comes to the calendar. Did not crush it at all.
I think we all love the Mission Impossible films. I went back. Can I start? I'll just start this one because I went back and I watched pretty much all of them. I hadn't finished Rogue Nation, which I kind of go up and down about Rogue Nation. I think it's incredible, but I also like there's a certain line of demarcation with those films. Really, like, okay, shit's getting real. Tom Cruise is risking his life. They go from being sort of these action spy thrillers, James Bond-esque, to being like these feats of filmmaking. And And I think since then, since about 2011, when the fourth movie came, Ghost Protocol came out, and he's hanging off the Burj Khalifa, and he's hanging off the side of an airplane, and he's jumping motorcycles off cliffs, and he's flying helicopters around on his own, and he's doing base jumps in Mission Impossible Fallout, or is it base jumps, like high altitude jumps, whatever, halo jumps. They have become this thing. They have become this other thing than what this, I think, franchise originally envisioned itself to be, going back and watching these movies. And in turn, they have garnered a ton more fans, including us, who, you know, Tej, how old were you for the first movie? Like, I don't know, like 10 maybe?
I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like it's so, I love that you said that, because these movies have come so far. You watch the first Mission Impossible, you can never conceive that this is where it's going, right?
Right.
Like, Tom Cruise is going to try to kill himself and jump off planes, and like that's not what the first movie is. The first movie
not
is
even
like
a little bit.
It's a spy movie. Like, it's a movie about spies, and it's all covert. It's not like someone's going to try to kill themselves for your entertainment. And so for the fact that he was able to use this series as a vehicle to kind of do that kind of stuff, starting at least with the second movie, where he's like what do you call that? Free scaling the mountain, like in the second movie. That's the coolest part of the second movie, which is the movie that really doesn't work. But he actually did that. He actually was free scaling that mountain. Like, so we went from the first movie immediately to the second movie, where it's like, whoa, he's doing dangerous shit. Like, he did that. Like, I remember when Mission Impossible 2 was coming out, there's obviously more press for it, because now we've had a successful movie already, and it was already out there. They were already using this strategy that they still use of putting it out there that, hey, Tom Cruise did this. Like, this is real. I remember being in middle school at that time and knowing that Tom Cruise was actually crawling around on that mountain. Like, that was a part of the way the movie was marketed. So kind of to take that and then to take it to where it's gone now, it's crazy that it's been able to arrive at that place.
Yeah, and what I'm getting at here, in a long-winded way of saying that, it has become sort of this paragon of not only action cinema, but of stunt filmmaking, and of a different way to tell movies. If you have one singular dude who is willing to put himself on the line like this, which most don't really have. I think like John Wick has a little bit of this with Keanu Reeves, but Keanu Reeves isn't jumping from an airplane to an airplane. Like, you know what I mean? So
Keanu also is sprinting like that.
Yeah, and these
what's the last time Keanu ran full speed?
His knees don't work, man. It's like, but there is a certain, and Mission Impossible is quite literally, these later films are also a direct response to those John Wick films, just like the early films were a direct response to James Bond, and then informed where James Bond went going forward, and then the Bourne films. They're all kind of in conversation with each other. I'm a long-winded way of saying these now have a certain audience of new cinema goers who, like, this is their action franchise. And in a lot of ways, it is ours on this podcast as well. I think we all love these movies more than a lot of people, really. I went to the theater with two guys who, like, I'd never even seen them. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And
I'm just here.
I'm just here to, like, hang out. And they had, one guy had binged all of them beforehand. But regardless, it's like it is taken on this sort of new life. And my review basically will start here, is that Tom Cruise has been reading his own press clippings, and that this story that has been formed around how he is, especially starting kind of with Fallout, but mostly with Top Gun, how he has sort of saved cinema and reinvented the way that we tell stories in film movies, and what can be done with cameras and motion and stunts and choreography, has bled in to what these films have become. And Christopher McQuarrie has really facilitated that hook, line, and sinker, in that the idea, and for a time being, it was Tom Cruise literally saved movie theaters. Like, that cannot be, like, overstated. Steven Spielberg told him that. Like, they have taken this and formed it into a messianic image that has now infiltrated the actual story of Mission Impossible. And in doing so, they have made an epic 3-hour long in really, TG, you're mentioning 6-hour long movie. In that, Tom, they really look into camera and say, Ethan Hunt is the only one that can save us. And they do it over and over and over again to a point where it loses all of its weight until Tom Cruise jumps from a biplane to another biplane. And I'm just like, holy shit, he's going to die.
Man, that shit was fucking awesome, man.
He's going to die. I thought he was going to die. And like, to a point, that's sort of my problem with this movie is that like the story does not have, I mean, we're dealing with a nuclear disaster. So yes, there is weight, but it's so convoluted and messy only to get around into saying that you, Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt are the only one that can possibly do this. Instead of Ethan Hunt, like the previous movies, Ethan Hunt is just the best and he's thrust into these situations and overcomes them. They literally are looking into camera. I need you to trust me to do this because I'm the only one that has the answers to do this. And it's bled into it. And I think that's what my main problem was. It got really meta-textual with what this was. The stunts are still awesome. Some of the stuff that they're doing with the cameras is unbelievable. Don't know how they did a lot of it. Him jumping into the frozen ocean out of a helicopter into the ocean and then, you know, free diving and him going solo through the submarine and all this stuff. Unbelievable. Man, was the rest of it boring.
Yeah. That moment where he dives off of the plane is the first moment I was having any fucking fun.
Takes
and
an
that shit
hour.
takes an hour to get there, bro. We watched the first hour of this movie, and as somebody who has seen Dead Reckoning, actually twice, because I watched it right before I went into the fucking theater, I had to watch a 1 hour recap of Dead Reckoning. Why? I saw Dead Reckoning. What are we literally the way we're doing exposition dumps for an hour to explain the stakes of this film? It's some of the worst shit you've ever seen in a Mission Impossible movie. It's awful. It's ham-fisted. They're fighting stuff off camera because of reshoots. So we do a gag now where we're beating people up off camera. Like, it is a mess. And we're really not letting the person cook who should have been cooking, which is, I love you, Tom Cruise. And obviously you're the reason why I go to the movie theaters to see these movies especially. But the real star of this movie was given nothing to do. And Atwell was mind-blowing in this film. She is amazing, and she's giving quite literally nothing to do for the entire film. And if you really wanted to make the first hour not a fucking snooze fest, you should have given her a lot more shit to do.
Or given them more to do together. At a certain point, they just did, like, Ethan's by himself. Like, and you can tell, like, yeah, like, he's just like...
We're dropping him in the middle of the ocean, literally.
Yeah. You can tell it's like they had the ideas for what they wanted some of these stunts and stuff to be, and then tried to form a movie around it. The AI thing just still doesn't work, really.
It's just a complete fucking nothing burger.
Yeah, AI is bad. Like, they got to do Issei Morales' character to have Tom Cruise give him something to punch. That's still the criticism we had from the last movie. But even so, he's like kind of, this character is just different from what the last movie was. And
yeah, he's just like, yeah, I don't feel that way anymore. I want to kill it now.
Yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, like that. I'm not even on that anymore. Like, no, that's
yeah, we off that.
Anyway, I still at a certain point I was like, man, this is incredible. This feels impossible. True to the title. How did they do that? I was sweating. I thought he was gonna, when he's jumping from biplanes and then, you know, going out, you can tell he's falling from, like, literally falling through the sky to do a parachute jump. Like, oh my God, he's gonna die. And no, he's out there walking around eating popcorn all weirdly. I like
the popcorn thing is weirdly fucking weird.
Yeah. I'm B- feels kind to how I really kind of feel about this movie, but because of the scale of it, I gotta give it kind of like a B-. I'm more of like a C+, but I'll probably like 80. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, guys, whoever wants to go, what did y'all think? I know I went way long on that.
I thought that outside of like this is the clearest it's ever been that they have 2 set pieces that they filmed around, and then they're like, we got to put a story around this. And I think that feels even more. It stands out even more because this is literally one film that we stressed out into 2 films. The highlights of this movie, the fucking biplane sequence is super fucking cool. The shit with him in the water, I legitimately thought he was going to die. Not just like I thought Tom Cruise was going to die, and I thought Ethan Hunt was going to die. Like at both. Like that stuff's just cool. It really works. The fucking submarine is turning over. That stuff just works. It's like it's
fucking
just
torpedoes
cool.
are like crashing down on him and shit.
Not to mention, we get Tremel Tillman once he finally gets down into the boat. That stuff really works. There's stuff to like about this movie, but everything they did to tie it to other movies in the series is just a complete nothing. Having the other cop dude, who was the black guy's partner, be the son of the original guy who betrayed him in the first movie,
who's the original character of the TV series.
It's a nothing burger. It means nothing. It felt nothing. No vibes were felt in the audience when that reveal happened. Tying it to the rabbit's foot, like none of that stuff works at all.
Changing what the rabbit's foot actually was instead of like a chemical agent to like an AI.
That stuff just does not
work.
It
was actually.
Yeah.
That stuff just does not work. An AI villain just legitimately doesn't work.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? The thing that they did at the beginning of this movie, they literally showed clips from all the other movies.
Yes.
Why are we doing that?
I at that point I was fine with it, but I even when I was watching it, I was like, but why are we doing
They've never done that in any other movie.
Never.
Like,
as someone who hasn't seen the first like 3 or 4 movies, I actually did appreciate that.
I mean, I really think, Tej, I'll let you continue, but I really think that Tom Cruise and like McQuarrie were like, I don't think people remember what we've done.
Or it's been what, like 25, 30 years, but that's the biggest problem with this movie. There's too much exposition. There's too much
much exposition.
Doing exposition for the nostalgia and doing exposition for like they literally have a scene where you can tell that they initially like had someone just doing this as one long voiceover, but they were like, no, we need to switch it between 4 different characters giving this bit of exposition so that the audience doesn't get bored. But you still get bored because they're just like reading a plan to you. And that's happens like 8 times in the movie before you get to all the cool shit.
The Angela Bassett didn't have enough to do. By the way, I would love to know what city she picked to destroy when she was going to destroy an American city. And the weirdest plot point ever, like she's got to destroy an American city as opposed to the whole country being destroyed. Whatever. It was all the new, like it's this for the movie that has the biggest possible stakes. I felt nothing about the stakes of this movie. Like I legitimately could not be forced to feel
it's so
anything.
Stupid because they're like, oh, it's coming for the American silos last. Oh no, Great Britain's offline. Oh no.
Yeah, they're like trying to explain what a prisoner's dilemma is to you, like in the movie, while also explaining to you like why you have to go into the submarine and how you might die by getting to the submarine and getting out and like all this other shit. It's like there's too much explaining going on.
The key didn't even matter because the Russians had their own key the whole time. So the stakes of the first movie mean nothing. Like there's just so many weird decisions. I also thought that despite the fact that the biplane thing was cool and despite the fact that it was pretty cool to do the submarine sequence, there's nothing as cool as that train sequence in the first movie.
Nothing.
That train sequence to me felt like something new. And that was not Tom Cruise actually trying to kill himself, but was still something that was like on a filmmaking level, McQuarrie, you are cooking with this. And this is not, I can't even give the credit for this for Tom Cruise, who also fucking jumped off a mountain on a motorcycle in that same film. Like that Dead Reckoning, I have my problems with, but the end of Dead Reckoning, I'm like, God, that's phenomenal. The biplane sequence is pretty cool, but it won't, like, it's probably more dangerous than what he did in the first movie. I legitimately thought he was going to die when I saw him jump from one plane to another.
Yeah.
I was legitimately scared for him. Like, that kind of shit, you can never take that, but everything that we kind of build out around the movie really doesn't work. Other than I really like the decision of having the pickpocket have to do the final get it at the right time, pull the hard drive thing off. I like that bit of filmmaking. And I had some sentimental value for this probably being the last Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, if not the last Mission Impossible, at least for some time. I doubt it's the last Mission Impossible movie, but I don't think there's going to be one anytime soon. And I had some feels about that, but generally speaking, this movie is just not successful to me, despite having some real cool shit in it. I would give it a C plus maybe. I really wasn't into it. That first hour,
it's hard to rank because it's like, oh shit, I hadn't seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm bored. Like it's just like,
it's tough to rank because like everything I said about like there being too much exposition and then like having characters just read plans to you 8 times in the movie or whatever. All of that is true, but when it's like Haley Atwell has to pull this thing at exactly the right time within like a millisecond or everyone dies.
Still locked in.
I'm like, on the edge of my seat, like.
And Clementif and Simon Pegg have great chemistry when she's trying to like do his wound and stuff like that, and that's really good in the background. And it's like,
and they killed Luther, and it was time.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about that.
It was time.
Kill Luther.
R.I.P. to Luther. He's been in every single one of these films. Every single one of these films.
Even when he had to do the exposition of being like, this is a bomb, but there's also another bomb.
Yeah.
If I don't blow up this bomb, then that other bomb will blow up this other thing. And then I'll also blow up from this bomb still. Like, all of that was like hokey and weird. But when it was time to die, like, I was still locked in and emotional. So it's like, I have to give it better than a C plus just because like a movie that can get you locked in like that at any point, like especially when it's a 3-hour long movie and it has like a solid amount of moments that you're locked in like that, it's got to be at least a B minus, right?
Yeah, and I'm just having a problem because we've come to expect it's tough because it's weighted down by its own expectations, right? Like we all saw what the peak of this can be. Like Fallout is
one of the greatest action movies.
I think it's action movies you've ever seen.
It's by far, like, if not the greatest, like the second greatest action movie of the 21st century. Like it's probably the greatest action movie of the 21st century.
I would interject the John Wick 4, but they're both neck and neck for me in terms of their greatness.
Right. Like it's not Ambulance, but like it's
that's a good point. I mean,
I thought y'all were gonna say Fury Road at least once, but like
and Fury Road that belongs in the conversation as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what the heights of this can be, and like in the same way that we were not disappointed by Furiosa, I think we all loved it, but in the same way that we're just like, it's not quite there.
Could have been more.
Yeah.
There's a little more garlic, a little more.
And maybe it's missing, like, say what you want about Henry Cavill, but maybe it's missing like a shit-heel villain like that. You know what I mean? Or maybe just something about the way that Fallout flows. And obviously it's like 30 minutes shorter, but like something in the way that Fallout flows, it really, you're going a mile a minute to the next stunt. And I think that's why people really love that movie. And yeah, I don't know. I just
if the Alaskan village guy, I don't remember if he was actually in Alaska or somewhere else that's cold, but like if that guy was like actually cool and it wasn't like, hey, let's explain in 3 different callbacks why this guy is kind of important now, and this makes sense. It's like, no, he's not important. He never was important. We don't need him, and he's also not that cool.
It's really weird to bring him back all the way from the first movie. Like it's a cool gimmick, but it is like he then just him and his wife are just now integral to the story. Like going forward, they're like secret agents the rest of the time.
And it's like the other guests that you bring in are fucking sick. It's like, oh, it's Mr. Severance and Miss Ted Lasso. Like, I love you guys. And like,
I love Hannah Waddingham. She is struggling with that American accent in this movie.
And then you're like, oh, it's the guy from the desk in the first film. Sure.
I didn't mind that. And
Bring back Mr. Severance.
At least his wife gave us some laughs. Like, there's very little comedy in this movie. Like, and it feels weird because Mission Impossible movies are really funny.
That's what I wanted to say.
There are laughs in the movie, but it's like there's not a lot of laughs in this movie at all.
Her teaching Haley Atwell how to shoot a bear, it was great.
Pretty good.
Like, going back and watching these movies, like they get a little bit more serious, but they like this one's really self-serious, and you can feel Tom Cruise really like Tom Cruise, good actor, but hasn't been asked to go to the depths of like Born on the 4th of July in forever. And he is really kind of going for it in some of these scenes. And he's like really whisper talking and like gritting it out. Like, I need you to understand what I'm trying to do. And it's just like, it just doesn't work. It's like, yeah, really self-serious. Like, go back and watch Ghost Protocol. Say what you will about it. Like, there's some serious stuff in that where like Jeremy Renner thinks like he got his family killed and all this other stuff. But the whole bit of like him hanging off the Burj Khalifa is like, the line's not long enough. And he's like, no shit. Like that, none of that's in this movie, really.
But like all the self-seriousness would have been cool if, spoilers, if you kill the guy at the end, like then you can be self-serious about that. When they all are just kind of looking at each other and they're like, all right, bye. Like it's not enough. That didn't earn the self-seriousness.
Obviously they have been trying to hint at the fact that there was at least some hinting that they were going to kill him. But after the movie, I watched the movie, I was like, yeah, there was no way Tom Cruise was going to kill himself. I don't know why I ever thought that he for a second would take himself off the chessboard in that way. Obviously, he's going to leave the door open so he can come back and try to kill himself on a movie set, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. If this is not our last Tom Cruise. Yeah, like if this is not our last Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, I'll be happy about that because this is not the way I want to end it. There's some cool shit here, but this is probably my third least favorite Mission Impossible movie. Like probably I probably have two. No, maybe it might be my number 7 of 8 because I think I have 2 in front of it, and I don't think that I'm gonna pick this movie over any of the other films other than Mission Impossible 2. I
will watch the biplane sequence when it comes out on YouTube. Like but I'm not firing up this entire movie again on Paramount or whatever.
When he jumps into that water, watch that whole sequence of the submarine, and then watch the biplane sequence, and you legitimately don't need to watch the rest of this film. Like, I don't think I will revisit the rest of this film, even though, again, I think Haley Atwell is doing an incredible job. She just got nothing to do. But I think that she is a great addition. She's a great addition. You
dissed that scene where he's beating up people off camera because it's reshoots or whatever. I was riveted. I was like, this is incredible content. Haley Atwell is doing great.
That scene was stupid. That made no sense to me. Like,
Haley Atwell is a special woman in multiple ways. I'll just say that.
We're trying not to be too horny on the podcast.
Yeah, that is a very good looking woman.
Congratulations to that woman on just genetics. But like,
win in life.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, I think the grand question is for me, and I'm left. It's not really existential. As more so, I was like, I'm bummed that I almost wish. I do want more Mission Impossible films, but I almost wish that they went out with such a bang that they could kind of put a hard cap on this and then let Tom Cruise, go make different movies, I think.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But because there's not such a definitive cap on it, or maybe because like the reception, they say the reception has been mixed. I think most people like it, but like,
yeah, I think most people like it.
But like,
I would even say I like it. It's just like it should have been better.
Yeah, and I think it to me it leaves me wanting, and then I don't want to be wanting for 68-year-old Tom Cruise to be hang gliding or whatever.
That's exactly how I feel. I don't feel like we got our true ending of the way that such an amazing franchise should end. We got that.
You get to the movie and they're all like walking away from each other or whatever. It's like, bro, they're one group text from getting back together. Like nothing.
Yes,
somebody could be like, "Hey, dinner tonight at 7," and like they're gonna pull up. Like it's not like they need to go their separate ways or like they're so advanced in their lives now that they can never go back to what they were doing before. Like, nah.
Even the black cop who had nothing to do with the whole movie survived. I was like, wow, everybody survived. Like. There were no stakes whatsoever.
I think that was the point where I was like, okay, like what do we do any of this for? Because it's like, yeah, if he's gonna survive, like, then didn't the old couple survive?
Yeah, they
did.
They were able to. That 65-year-old couple was able to sprint in 10
it's like,
seconds
okay,
and
what do we
avoid
do
it.
this for then, man? If nobody's gonna die, like the Black Ops not even gonna sacrifice himself for the old couple, then like, is this the final reckoning? Is it like?
I mean, outside of the first movie where you go back and watch it, and it's a Brian De Palma film, and it's really kind of a really sinister, brutal movie at its heart. Like you go back and you watch that, like the entire team gets annihilated in the first couple minutes of the movie, and they really haven't gone back to that since. Like,
we've
even
fridged some women
Twisters,
since
they're
then,
like,
but that's
we're
about
gonna
it.
kill everybody right now. So, like,
all we do is fridge women, and that's all we do after the first
Yeah.
movie is we just fridge the shit out of every woman that gets close to Tom Cruise. But other than that, people generally don't die.
Yeah, like, you know, I don't know. I just I'm left wanting. I was entertained mostly in a packed theater. It was great popcorn entertainment, but for the height that I think that this has reached as what we've come to expect from this franchise, I don't, you know, missed a beat to me personally. So,
yeah, I'd rather watch like Fallout and a half, like, you know, watch
right.
it and then watch it another like half time before watching 3 hours of Final Reckoning again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So long podcast already, but do we want to talk about what we're watching, or let's just do it? Actually, let's just do a full Top Gun, a Mission Impossible ranking. Y'all ready to do a listicle?
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't seen most of the movies, to be honest with you.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Terrible content. But what are we watching?
Let's see. I talked about Black Bag already. I talked about Warfare already on the pod.
Didn't we talk about that?
I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I saw Warfare. Warfare is pretty good.
We both saw Warfare, but it's like we've been texting since then, and a lot of our texts, I don't know.
Maybe I haven't. But I liked Warfare. It's another loud movie from the same director. I mean, loud, like literally loud. Like, it's fucking awesome. It is short. It is a specific story, and it's fun. It is heart palpitating. You feel like you're really at war. I really enjoyed it. I also saw The Accountant 2, which isn't good.
Oh yeah, we also saw The Accountant.
Dex and I saw that together.
Yeah, I forgot we did that.
I was sad about it. There's some stuff to like. There's some fun, but overall, I was like, why did we make this? Like, what? I felt nothing about the plot. I felt nothing.
Dex had the best response to that. He was like, "That was all right. I'll never think about it again."
Yeah, never.
I literally didn't. I had forgotten I'd seen it until right now.
Never think about it again. And I've just been. I rewatched Star Wars: A New Hope. Of course, I did. I always watch that. What else?
Good movie. Gotta say.
Yeah, good movie. I watched To Wong Fu, Thanks to Everything, Julie Newmar, a movie from '95 that I had never seen, but people love. I very much enjoyed it. It's kind of about like three gay men who are just like traveling across the country, getting into they're like fabulous and they're trying to go be like fabulous queens, but they end up like in the rural parts of the United States, and there's some culture shock, and it's good. It's a comedy. It's good. Kind of the comedy I don't make anymore. Other than that, I don't think I've seen any other movies or new movies. I still need to go see Final Destination, and I'm going to be very into the theater in June and July because we have real cinema coming. Other than that, I've just been mainlining on NBA basketball, and I'm rooting for the Pacers in the finals. By the way, even though I hate both teams,
go Sirs.
Go Pacers. I don't want to see a Thunder championship. No, thank you.
Yeah, get the Thunder out of here, dog. Respectfully, please. But I
get them the fuck out of here.
Oh, they get to foul bait, and it's good. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like that, but I think that they will win in 5. But I hope that they lose. So
they'll probably sweep them. But
it feels bad to say the Pacers are gonna get swept, but I'm like, I'll see how they're gonna win a game, brother.
Tyler,
I need them to win game 1 for maximum chaos. At least I can feel for a night that maybe we'll get a competitive finals. That would be nice.
Dex, what have you watched besides basketball?
It's honestly been mostly basketball. Then I got into college softball for a little bit. Shout out to Brielis.
Shout out to them Texas Longhorns up 1 on the World Series. Turn that up, Dex.
Hey,
Turn that
up. Women's college softball, it's great. Check it out. Men's college baseball, I'm good actually.
Same.
I'm good. This shit kind of ass, not gonna lie. But yeah, I've been watching The Office for the first time. Still, I'm into season 5 now. Great show. Into season 4, if you don't remember, is Phyllis walking in on Dwight and Angela.
Dwight and Angela, yes.
Great scenes. Great scenes.
I'm so you like it's like watching a baby take its first steps. You know what I mean? Like just learn you watching The Office.
I did just watch Jan's baby shower for the first time the other day. Like where she shows up with the baby at the baby shower.
Those last couple seasons are gonna test your resolve, brother. Because when Michael leaves the show, that shit stunk to me. People,
hey, bro,
some
I'm not
people
gonna lie
like
to
that
you.
shit. That shit stunk to me when he left.
I'm one of those people who, like, if a show gets bad, I'll just stop watching.
I stopped watching. I don't care.
I begrudgingly kept going, and I regretted it because it was bad.
Not a
Although the more time passes, the more Robert California it's kind of fucking funny to me. It's like you don't even know my name. I'm the Lizard King.
With Dexter, when I watched that for the first time, everyone was like, "Oh, he gets bad after season 3 or season 4."
Yeah,
or
season
whatever
3 is great, and then it gets weird.
I literally stopped watching in season 3 and like never bothered. I was like, I don't care.
Smart.
But I also saw The Accountant too, which we just talked about. I actually haven't been to the movies very often, other than to see the 3 movies that we just talked about. It's been a little bit of a dead period for me, but June or July, we back in there.
Yeah.
I know some people that have seen The Ballerina this week, bro. They said it's fire. I will be there.
I hope it is, because I've been testing this take out on Twitter and in the group chats and whatnot. Ana de Armas is on Fraud Watch, brothers.
Oh shit!
Ana de Armas is on Fraud Watch. She was great in whichever Bond movie that was that she was great in. I don't remember which one it was.
A Certain Time to Die. I don't
know. Yeah, she was great in that, and we were like, okay, like she's got next. She's the most beautiful woman in the world. We already knew that, but
she was incredible.
Kick-ass action with James Bond, so we gotta love her and everything. And then she did like The Gray Man and that weird Chris Evans Apple movie that
she went from being on top of the world with No Time to Die. Everybody came out of that movie and like, oh, James Bond dead. Ana de Armas was awesome. Like that's what that in order. Yeah. But this is what she did. The Gray Man, Blonde, which she was inexplicably nominated for.
Man, Blonde is a fucking mess.
Blonde's a DNF.
Ghosted, which isn't a real movie with Chris Evans. Eden, which isn't a real movie I haven't ever heard of. And yeah, now Ballerina. So it went Deep Water, The Gray Man, Blonde, Ghosted.
Wow. Yeah, she needs one. I didn't realize that, but she needs one. Y'all are absolutely right about that.
So yeah, I hope the Ballerina is good and she can be back in our good graces because oof.
All right. Y'all ready to strap in? I've been on a grind.
Stuff you've been watching.
Mostly, a lot of these are take it with a grain of salt because I was on two 13-hour flights in this time. You know how many movies you can watch?
A lot.
A lot. You can scrub through a lot of movies. So after we did Mickey 17, I have watched The Notebook, Pretty Woman, Black Bag.
Wait, you have to know whether you've seen these films before.
I've seen The Notebook before. I'm pretty sure I'd seen Pretty Women before, but I watched it again. Black Bag, great movie. It's on Peacock. Go watch it. Death of a Unicorn. It makes like Cocaine Bear seem serious.
Yikes.
Wait,
is it good? Is that movie good?
No.
It's kind of A24 slop. Like it's just
Got
like
it.
to a certain group of like, you know, people that are like 15 right now. I think it'll like
Baby
resonate.
First Cinema.
Yeah. Let's see. Snack Shack, which I really enjoyed. It came out last year to not a lot of like fanfare, but people who knew film have been talking about it. Really good. It's on Amazon. Really great coming of age movie. Warfare, teased, like you said, loudest movie of all time. So good. People had really bad discourse about it online. 27 Dresses, sure. The Shape of Water. I watched it on the back of a seat on an airplane.
You haven't seen it before, right?
Nope.
That shit slaps, man.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm sure it's how Guillermo del Toro really wanted me to watch it. Very weird movie to watch on a plane.
Makes sense. Very weird.
Also, they cut out like half of it because it is a weird movie. So I don't think I saw the completed version of the film. I got to rewatch it again. It was fine when I watched it, sleep deprived. Wild. I had seen that before with Reese Witherspoon. Also a weird movie to watch on the plane because she's getting just like railed in that movie.
I saw something that said that Reese Witherspoon is the richest actress in the world.
She owns a production.
And I realized that could be true. Like, I don't know if it's true.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus is literally a billionaire.
Jesus Christ, man.
True.
I'm not getting enough money out here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Reese Witherspoon, I know she owns that production company or whatever.
And that like book club thing.
Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me she's raking it in, especially because like I'm sure they were cutting her big checks for the morning show because she was a star, and I'm pretty sure she like owned that like the production for that too. Like,
I also really like Reese Witherspoon and stuff. Like, I think she's great.
She's one of my favorite actresses of all time.
Absolutely. Wild, good movie. If you hadn't never seen it,
did she win for that one, or was she?
No, she was nominated. Den of Thieves 2, Pantera.
Still haven't seen that. Is it good?
No, stinks. Yeah, I don't. Out of Sight was on a Soderbergh grind. Out of Sight, sexy ass movie.
Yeah,
really, really sexy, fun movie. Companion, a new film that came out this year.
People said that's good.
Yeah, was it? I was intrigued by the trailer.
Yeah, Jack Quaid, shit heel, awesome. It kind of gives away what it's going to do within 10 minutes, but I liked it. Sinners, The Game, 1997. A lot of these were like rewatchable stuff.
What's The Game?
The Game is from David Fincher. I think it's the movie he did before Fight Club.
I remember this one.
With Michael Douglas.
Really
strange, like a funhouse film that
Fincher's a weird dude.
Yeah, that Fincher did. Thunderbolts, The Accountant 2, two more accountants. The Handmaiden, which is on the Big Pictures 25 for 25. I'd never seen this. Good God Almighty. Do not watch this like with your parents or around your loved ones. This one was something else. Park Chan, I think it's Park Chan Wook.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an incredible film.
Very violent,
very sexual.
Yeah.
At times I felt like I was interrupting. Havoc, the Tom Hardy movie on Netflix, new movie. Ew. Ugh. Like,
what is the plot of Havoc?
Dirty cop tries to help the son of Eric Adams.
Eric Adams
get out of jail. It's not Eric Adams, but like clearly Eric Adams. The son of a mayor, like get out of a sticky situation with drugs and like the Chinese mob. And this movie, we're going long and I probably need to end this bit right now, but this movie was so boring and bad. And then there was a part in the film where I thought I saw God, because there's like, it's so unnecessarily violent that it was just like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Dex, you would hate it.
Yeah, it sounds like I would.
You would hate it. Nona's Vince Vaughn film on Netflix. Really unoffensive, beautiful little film. Susan Sarandon, nearly 80 years old. Incredible. Fine wine. Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3, 4. Steel Magnolias. Seen that again. Bridget Jones's Diary. Had never seen that. Yeah, good. I get it. Yeah. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Never had seen it. What a film. Good Lord. This Steven Spielberg guy.
Got a future in this business.
He's got a future, man.
He's got a future in this business. Friendship, which technically I think came out this year, but I'm counting it, or last year, but I'm counting it as a this year movie. The new comedy with Paul Rudd and why am I blanking on Tim Robinson?
Tim Robinson, yes.
Yeah. Not for me. I'm glad they made it. I think a lot of people that like Tim Robinson will like this movie. It's just not. But there's a few lines that like I laughed out loud, and I haven't really done that in a comedy movie in a long time. But it's just like your mileage may vary on how much that you like Tim Robinson. You know what I mean? So like, it just feels like he should be doing.
Like you don't like Tim Robinson.
It's just some stuff he does, like the sketch comedy stuff. Yeah, it feels like he should be doing sketch comedy, but you just take that manic energy and then put it into the entire movie, and it feels like he's the weirdest person in the world. Like this person doesn't exist in real life.
Got it.
And they're trying to do kind of like a straightforward comedy. Some of it's like surrealist, but anyway. Rewatched Chronicle in the hotel room the other day. Speaking of Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B.
Dude, it's crazy how long Michael B. Jordan has been at this. He's been doing this for like 25 years.
That man that man is Wallace from The Wire.
I think his first acting job is from like 99. Like,
yeah.
He's given us so much.
It's like him and Jesse Plemons have literally been around since like 2000. So then, rewatch Chronicle 28 weeks later, which I had never seen before. Thought was like,
I gotta tap back into those movies because it's almost time.
I think the first one's like a brilliant film. I think the second one is like they just made it into an action movie, and it's like it's fine. But the new one coming out, I'm in there.
And that trailer fucking rocks, man.
And then I watched the Conversation last night, Francis Ford Coppola joint that he did between Godfather 1 and Godfather 2. I had never seen it before. If you haven't seen it, it's on Amazon. If you want some old cinema, go watch it. Like, there's a twist in here that has been copied. Like, you watch it and you go, oh, now I know where that movie got that thing from. And it kind of just felt like Francis Ford Coppola was like, I'm just trying shit with like some of the shots, and then it really works. And this, wish he would have done that with his previous film. But
I've seen a film where he was just trying shit.
Yeah.
And
Shout out to Auntie Wow.
Yeah, Auntie Wow. So yeah, and basically I have seen, I think, like 10 new releases in that time.
Nice.
And also in that time, we have been watching Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV. We finished The Pit finally.
Great, dude.
And then, just a bunch of other.
You know what we have not been watching as a collective? The Last of Us. We were not watching.
I was in Korea when that the big episode happened that everybody was talking about. It was like, oh my God, this is peak cinema. I still haven't watched it. And so
I was watching it, but I still haven't watched the finale. I got one more episode, so I guess I'm
actually good, dude. Like, I think I got through episode like 4. I was like, actually, I don't care whether any of these people live or die.
Actually, I'm good.
I don't care if the zombies come get you. I don't care if Caitlin Deaver takes you out or what. I don't care.
You felt that way in the first series, though.
I did.
Actually, I don't care.
I did, but I felt like curious enough to keep watching week to week. And now I'm like, I don't need to pick the show back up unless season 3 comes out and everyone's like, this is the best shit ever. Then I'll catch up. But right now I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'm good.
You're definitely not alone in that.
Yeah, I as much as I've loved those games and I love that first season of that show, I just have not had the strength to like pick it back up. So I'm
usually not like that when there's like a big character thing like that. I'm not like, oh, it's over for me. How do I go on? But then I was like, okay, well, I'm good actually now on this.
Yeah. And you know what I haven't been watching, and stop yelling at me, Andor. Sorry.
Nope.
I started it. I'm like, I still got to jump back in, but then I started rewatching The Godfather of Harlem because I didn't realize they put out a 3rd season, and I forgot it all, so I started from the beginning. I'm also watching Forever on Netflix. It's like a teen black romance. It's really good. Really, really well done. Done by the same woman who made like Girlfriends in the Game. It's actually really well done. What else have I been watching? I've been watching Andor. I've been watching The Last of Us, which I'm getting through. I think that's all I'm watching.
We started Handmaid's Tale for no reason at all. Caitlin.
That first season fucking rocks, but I never made it past the first season because it was so sad.
There's like 6 seasons now.
There's so many
it was too sad, man. That shit is sad as shit, man. It's really good, but I was way too emotional. I could not persist.
Some of that shit that's going on in that show, you're like, it's
too close to home, bro. That shit is the world we live in. That shit is crazy.
Uncomfy.
Yeah, there's also one thing with Carrie. There's a Carrie Mulligan show that I started, Dying for Sex, on Hulu, which is kind of like a dramedy, and it's really, really good. I'm like 3 episodes in. They're all like 30-minute. Oh, not Carrie Mulligan. I get them mistaken all the time. Michelle Williams.
Fair to get them mistaken.
Yeah, happens a lot. Anyway,
I won't hold that one against you.
Yeah. Same person, right? So yeah, that has been what we're watching. I don't even know. I guess we're gonna lock back in Megapod 2 hours. I guess we're gonna lock back in for Ballerina, right?
Yeah, I'm going to see Ballerina, so I will be there.
Okay, so we're gonna lock back in for Ballerina.
I can't believe that Ana de Armas is on Fraud Watch, but after you laid it out, she is on Fraud Watch.
She is on Fraud Watch. Like she has to be at this point.
I'm hearing good things so far, so that's good because I like Ana de Armas and I don't want her to be on Fraud Watch. So
and it's crazy because like she had an Academy Award nomination in there, but like Blonde's a DNF, man. Like Blonde,
literally a DNF. Like I did not finish that film and had
Blonde
no want to.
Ass, bro.
That shit stinks, bro.
5.5 on IMDb.
The Oscars were nasty as hell for awarding any part of that film. That's insane.
I think they felt bad for her.
I don't even think I made it halfway before I was like, no thanks.
That shit stinks, man.
So yeah, I know we have said this in the past where we're like, we'll do this movie, and then like you haven't radio silence for like 2 months.
You season 2 coming soon.
Yeah, exactly. God. They just wrapped that show, by the way.
Yeah, that's another show I stopped watching. No, thank you.
We'll pick back up when the summer comes in. I'll have more time, and we'll actually see some better movies. I think the release schedule.
It's going to be a good summer at the box office, so we'll definitely be active. It's going to be a good summer at the box office.
Before we go, do we want to talk about how Stranger Things and Netflix is completely fucking their market?
Those kids are 90. Those kids are older than me now, bro. Those kids have beards. Get that shit. They're showing in the marketing, and they're just showing old shots from other seasons. Because those kids are grown as shit now, bro. The fucking little daughter, the little sister of the black character, just graduated from high school in real life. These kids are grown as shit, bro. Just drop this shit and let's move on with our lives. Good Lord, bro.
It's better when you start the teenagers, like when they're like 20, they start playing them when they're 20, like Outer Banks. Those kids were like 20 when they started that show. So like them aging significantly doesn't really change that much. Millie Bobby Brown was like 10. She's 22 and married now. Like
she's married, bro. Like she's having sex and stuff, bro. Like what are we still doing?
And also hates being an actress. By the way. Like, everything about it just sounds so annoying to her. Like So
and we're supposed to feel bad for Will, who's a Zionist. Just end this, bro. Like we're done. We're fucking done.
I never started Stranger Things. I've never seen any of it. And I was
it's so good. That's the problem.
It's really good.
I was like, like when the last season comes out, I said this right after season 4. I was like, well, when the last season comes out, I'll catch up and I'll binge it all. That was like 4 years ago. Like I'm
By the way, Kayla and I did. It's really easy to do. It's really engrossing television.
It's really good.
That people are kind of up in arms about how they've done this. But one thing that they did is like, not only are we not doing the binging model, which will get people to talk about it immediately, or we're not doing the week-to-week model, we're releasing it in like 3-hour chunks on holiday weekends or whatever. And it's just like, that's not how anything ever is released.
Yeah, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Them being like, we're going to do it Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's is...
That shit stinks, bro. Why are we doing it? Just drop it.
This is not Thursday Night Football. Like,
those kids got 401ks now, bro. Like, let's just get it over with. Like, what are we doing? And I like Stranger Things. Don't get me wrong, but come on, bro.
They're already withdrawing from their Roth. So, yeah.
And dropping 4 episodes, then 3 episodes, and then 1 episode that's crazy.
Completely ass.
Anyway, watch it. It is a good show. Anyway, so that has been a One Take Podcast. You can find us at One Take Pod. We'll try to tweet and do the thing at One Take Podcast on all platforms. Like, download, rate, review, subscribe.
We're back.
We really appreciate it. We're back after several months. We really appreciate everybody who is interacting and chatting with us. We really appreciate that. And streaming this episode, we'll put it up on our platforms as soon as I possibly can. Because, like I said, I'm busy. But you can, if you want to stream it right away, unedited, you can watch it on One Take Podcast YouTube. So go follow us, download, like, subscribe, rate, review. Dex, what are we doing?
Hashtag support Florence Pugh. Go see Thunderbolts / The New Avengers if you haven't already. And get ready to log back in because we ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, we still do this as a hobby all these years later. All right, guys. We're out.